So today, going into the inside of where those plastic flaps are, I cleaned out most of this, and actually I think I got pretty lucky because this, I went ahead and I, that's not great, but it's not like I can't like just poke my finger through that, so it's actually kind of reinforced. They're not, not reinforced, but not as weak as I thought. I thought that was all just going to crumble away on the driver's side over here. And honestly, everything else is actually not too bad. I'm just going to go ahead and finish cleaning out of here. Then I'm going to hit it with a 3-step process of Marine Clean, Metal Ready, which it probably doesn't even really need. Actually, the worst part is just where it's crumbled away down here. And I'm just going to lather POR15. You can't really get a good angle there, but I'm just going to lather POR15 down into that, which I think is like a little drain running board there. I don't really understand what that is. I've looked up things, but they don't really explain what that is, so... And the only other thing weird over here is that thing. I don't know what that is. I'm not going to touch it. It was kind of just hanging out. Not sure why it's there. But everything else is good over here. This is really good. The whole where I had that patch is good, but I still want to get that with POR15. But I actually got to kind of sand it down because POR15, it really works really well on rust. That's the funny thing. It works, if you want to use it on something that's not rust, then you got to just sand it down pretty good. But it works like if you have just some surface rust and you just clean off the loose stuff, man, does that work well on rust. No sanding, no nothing, just... And then over here, it's a lot worse. It's a different story. I already lost one of the plug holes. That's where a plug hole should go. Should look something like that, but that just crumbled right out. Nothing I could do because those plugs are meant to kind of go in and not come back out. So it was tough to get those out. And then I got this one here, which I'm going to lose too. There's definitely no way I can get that out of there. And I got a POR15 that, so... I imagine most of that little lip right there is just going to crumble away, so that's unfortunate, but I'll make some kind of makeshift way to get it back in there, not a big deal. And this side was actually the worst side. This is the passenger side. This was much worse than the other side, if you remember what that looked like a second ago. This was much, much worse, especially getting down into there. And I think there was some dirt on the, yeah, like little like lip back there too. But this was just much worse because it crumbled away, and this was kind of not as secure. And just more of it. So this side is actually worse, and it's like got worse up there. But funny enough, this side hasn't the same drain hole running board thing hasn't crumbled away. So that's kind of interesting. But I'm gonna be getting this all at POR15, so it's not gonna be a concern for too much longer. I am thinking today that it would make it a lot easier if I went and jacked up my car and took off my tires. Now I've rotated my tires before, but not on this Jeep, and I didn't do it alone. So. And that was like 2 years ago, so I haven't done anything with my tires in a long time. So today might be the day I go ahead and try to take off my tires, which I know is not a difficult thing at all to do, but I always second guess myself. I'm always like, man, I didn't do that right, or gosh, I didn't do that the proper way, but even though I know exactly how to do it. So I'll probably be doing that, probably taking the tires off just so I can get in here better and get anything else. This side is actually much better, except for just there. This side is much better. It's the other side, it's not quite as great. Which is actually where the worst of the rust is. Other than what you see over on this side, the worst rust is actually, now it's getting all dark because I don't have the light anymore, but it's like right up underneath in here somewhere. That's the worst of the rust, and I'm not sure what to do about that still yet. But that's alright. And typically, we had a heat wave the last 2 weeks, and guess what it's doing today? It's raining. It's raining. It's cold, it's muggy, and it's raining. I mean, I'm talking like in the high 80s, humidity, really humid. Today it's cold. Like I could put on a jacket because it sucks. But the real problem for me is not just the weather, but I went and got the fender flares. I cleaned them off yesterday, real nice. Look at that. I mean, look at this. If you compare this to this side, this is kind of what a fender flare should look like. You know, that dark gray, and this is what my fender flares do look like. Can't really see because it's dark, but trust me, that's like a very, very light gray where all that stuff is like oxidized. And I just gave these a really good sand down and washed them off. I mean, even right now they already look better because they look darker. But I do want to paint them black. I think the black's going to look good. I was sort of having second thoughts. I'm not going to go back on it now, but I was having second thoughts about the Rust-Oleum texture paint. I love the way it looks, but I'm having this little problem where you can't really see it because it's not that big of a deal. But it was kind of scratching a little easy, and also if you used a paper towel and kind of got it along this, it would grab all the little bits of fiber from the paper towel, and then I couldn't get it back off. It was a real pain, so I just won't be able to, wipe down my fender flares with paper towels. But other than that, like I don't have a problem with this. I mean, even these right now just look better. They're smooth, they're nice. The other one is actually the one that had the worst stuff on it. It had, if you look right there, I had to kind of wire wheel those down because it had some like really thick gunk on it, and I didn't want to make like, you know, like gouge out holes where I was trying to get it off. So that doesn't look too pretty right now, but it's actually pretty smooth right there. When I paint it, you're never gonna know it was there. So these actually look pretty good, and I really, really want to paint them, but I mean, I guess I could do it right here. There's no reason I can't, right? I'm determined to, you know, get these painted and put them back on by the end of the day. So that's my goal for the day. PR 15 all that inside, paint these fender flares, and things will start looking really good. Okay, so I got my tire off, and I just wanted to show, now that I can actually get in here. Let's see if I can get the light in here with that. Oh my god, look at that. Look how much crap there is in there. It's just like, it's like a cave kind of like fell in on itself. I'm sure that's not supposed to look like that. Oh, that's terrible, but I'm gonna get in there as much as I can, clean out what I can. Even like that little crack there, it's like, I know it's kind of hard to get light in there, but I'm sure that shouldn't look like that. But I'll do what I can. I'll get as much PR15 in there as I possibly can. But it does look different with getting the tire off. And there, yeah, it's kind of like you can see that's not so great up there, but it's not as bad as it could be either. And I'm wondering, because I really don't know, and I won't take the chance until I'm sure of it. But can I just, I mean, would it be so bad to PR15 this? This isn't like anything to do with the brake, but this is just like an outer housing for the brake, isn't it? I mean, this is where I start not knowing what I'm talking about. So someone's gonna be like, no. But yeah, I need to figure out what I can and what I should and should not hit with PR15 back here. But for now, I'll just focus on what I came to do. I'll just get the bits and pieces that are actually on the body, and I'll hit what I can for the frame. Yeah, check that out. I love PR15. I really don't know where I'd be right now with this thing if I didn't have PR15. This is such, I mean, I haven't really, you know, I haven't had it really put to the test per se so far, but I've heard nothing but good things about it. And if something can go on like this and, you know, just alter rust the way it does, it's got to be good. And that just looks really nice. And I wasn't sure about it's some of this stuff here, which is gonna be this, you can't really see it. Some of the last stuff I really get to, because it's some of the trickiest stuff for me to get to actually get up in there and figure out what I do. But at least I feel better about having a lot. I mean, this has crumbled away to that point, but at least it's stopped right there. I don't think it's gonna get used for now. And in the future, what I might do is get a piece of metal there and not weld it on, because that wouldn't really work there, but really the pour patch would be really nice right there. Get like a piece of metal to kind of insert in there and kind of stop from getting any worse after I get that stuff. I haven't looked it up yet, but it's the same stuff from Eastwood. It's like it's an interior frame coating, and it has like a nozzle that you put into, like, you know, the hole right there or the hole over there. So that's my thoughts for that. But for now, I'm just gonna finishing up this. Actually, if we can get a look with the camera to see, I can't see it right now, because if I could flip this, there we go. Get up some of that. There was some of the worst rust. Actually, I think it was worse on the other side. It wasn't too bad up here, but there were some places up underneath here, up the lip of the fender flare. So that came out pretty good. This side came out really nice. This is what I really like. I mean, this looks beautiful. It looks really nice right there. The whole thing kind of, now it goes from, you know, the front there kind of slides into this, and it looks so nice. I love it. And the only thing I really haven't gotten is kind of like the inner side of the frame, but I've checked in there and it's not so bad. Got it right there. Yeah, most of this is pretty good, actually. It went on pretty well. I did a little bit on the outside there because that was just starting to rust, and I figured, well, the fender flare is going to be on there anyway. You're not going to see it. And besides, I think I'd prefer it to be, you know, kind of like black there as opposed to rust. And the other side was definitely the worst of the two, the passenger side, because a lot of this had already kind of crumbled away, but it stopped there now in the PR15 on it. I feel good about that. Got some of that in there. It's the same kind of, let's see, flip that around. You can see up there was a bit worse, especially right around there. It was a bit worse, but I got it pretty good. And I'm probably going to come back in through here and hit it again at some point. But for now, I gotta put the tires back on and put things back together. And I will definitely get back in here, because stuff like that I want to take care of. And anything else I can reach in there too that's possible later on. But when you're doing something like this, you don't want to take on too much at once. I like to do one thing at a day. You know, I mean, I started the project of doing this, and I even kind of started doing some more like the underneath here. But I don't want to start like really spreading myself so thin, otherwise I'll kind of like, I'll mess up somewhere is what'll happen. But I got in there, and that's really good, and I got the main stuff here. So what I also what I can do is when I put this on, because I lost the this actually came out pretty good. I got that out through there. But I did, like I said, I lost the pinhole for the plastic inserts, and I can't have those, you know, falling down on the tire when I'm driving down the road. So I gotta figure out something to do with that. I think if I was just for a day, I mean right now, it is still pouring outside. So that's just unfortunate that I'm not gonna be able to paint my fender flares. So those aren't gonna be going back on today. I'm not gonna struggle to put those back on, but tomorrow I'll put everything back together, see about getting the plastic insert on. But overall, it came out pretty good. Both sides, like this is really nice, really smooth into there now. And the other side definitely came out better, but it wasn't as worse either. But I feel good about it now because these are the areas when I had been looking at the plastic inserts here. I was like, I saw that crap falling out of there, and I was like, it's not so great. But now this is just, it's really smooth, really like it. And getting on the other side would be kind of tricky, but I think I can do it with the right kind of paintbrush and go in like a slow and easy job. And that's kind of how you do something like this. So overall, today was a success. I feel good about that. Getting more and more of the frame done, I feel better and better about this. And I also went ahead and painted my, these were pretty faded, I painted my lug nuts black because I think the black will look good. And I'm going to go ahead and put the tires back on and probably take a look at those. But overall, today was a victory.